What happened Saturday night was that their goalie took a run from Foligno. What happened?
Campbell.
Yeah. Campbell took last night, the same thing happened again with Wall. And then Neil, and this is where it all is going to kick off. Neil Pionk, knee on knee, Rasmus Sandin.
We're probably going to get an update at some time during today. It does not sound good. We're not going to see Rasmus Sandin for a long time.
And he was playing so well.
We were talking about it before the show, and Adam's like, oh, done for the season. I was like, no way. I said 4 to 6 weeks. Adam said done for the season. And I think Adam is going to be closer to right than I am.
I was just right in between. I said they're basically off in the entire month of February. He probably comes back mid-March.
Isn't that this show, though? Adam opinion, Steve opinion, right opinion?
Kind of is. Yeah.
Isn't that this entire show?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the knee on knee, Adam, you're saying?
Well, so it starts off a chain of events.
Well, I thought it started with Matthews and Dubois.
Well, so, okay. I guess, so that, on its own, the Matthews Dubois thing, we
could
can
go
start there.
on Pornhub.
Could go on
because of
board. It
how
was
much
hot.
he rode him.
There was a lot of it was almost like somebody dying in Halo.
I didn't think that was necessary.
You know the Halo thing?
Yeah, that's better.
Where they sack you when you
teabag.
You're on the same
teabag the guy.
As me. Yeah.
So okay, I guess we could start there because the reason for me that the Matthews Dubois thing is just Dubois being a pain in the ass, and he's had a really great year, come back and done great. Patrick Laine, by the way, has 3 goals.
Well, he's in
Patrick Laine, who was brought up a lot on the broadcast. Did you guys hear that?
No.
Okay. No,
I don't always watch with the sound on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to pay attention to too much shit. Like, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, he's only played 9 games. That's not fair. Pierre-Luc Dubois, as having this year, jumps all over Matthews. Obviously, he knows that's going to piss the Leafs bench off, right? Starts to get testy. One might even say testically. Yeah, that's where they were, right on his Matthews shoulders.
That's what he put on his numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
You want a manscaped ad right here?
It's a perfect time to break into balls.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
He rode him,
yeah,
and that's where everything started because the stupid referees couldn't get a hold of the game from that point on.
So they give them coincidental minors,
yeah.
and I think if you're a Jets fan, you could even admit it probably shouldn't have happened.
It's like me slapping Jesse 5 times, and then Jesse slaps me back once. We both get 2 minutes for slapping.
It's me going, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
Jesse ties up your hand to stop you from slapping him a 6th time. That's what happened. And so
coincidental.
Let me go George Carlin with this. Here's a list of people who ought to be fired. Like, that's just what this show is. Add Brad Meyer to the list. You suck at your job, buddy. You put people in danger every time you get on the ice. You're a terrible ref. Feel bad. Feel bad. You suck.
What can happen, as we have seen with Vancouver Canucks fans, so go with teams. When teams don't feel like the refs are going to treat them fairly, they start to take things into their own hands. Now, I'm not going to excuse what happened with Spezza because I think that was a shitty hit, and we'll get to it in a minute.
I love Jason Spezza a lot.
But
we're not doing
getting
it now?
there. We're talking.
No. Okay.
There's so much more.
Pionk Sandin really bothers me.
Yeah.
The Pierre-Luc Dubois Matthews thing, that's a guy going after a star player when they're already getting fucking smashed, and him going, hey, fuck you guys, we don't even have to see you till the end of March anyway, who cares?
Can I read you something?
Sure.
From Justin Bourne. I guess getting rodeo by Dubois last night doesn't count because he took a penalty too, but random fun fact that surprised me, at 5-on-5 through 26 games, Austin Matthews has drawn 0 penalties.
Guess that means he's a star in the NHL.
Bad. So bad amateur league. NHL players are the highest paid amateur athletes in the world. It's not a professional league. So Mickey Mouse, so rinky-dink, so fucking bad. Continue.
The Pionk thing bothers me. And I'll tell you why the Pionk thing bothers me. It's a completely avoidable situation.
He didn't need to do that.
He did not need to do that. It was a choice. We'll get to Spezza in a second.
He's a dirty player.
Before the Jets fans get on me.
Yeah.
Pionk, I think there's a history of this.
Yeah, he's the guy who tried to hit Marner when the net was empty and got nothing for it. And this is what we talk about this every fucking show. Is players aren't held accountable and then they continue to not be accountable. And the NHL goes, I don't get it. This is why you're so far down the depth chart of relevance in North America. You fucking suck. It's barely a sport. Have some fucking pride in your product. For Christ's sake. Horrible. I work for the rights holder. Imagine what everyone else is saying. It's so shameful. So fucking bad. So fucking bad.
Julian McKenzie tweeted out today that in the MLS, you can ask one question of the officials after the game. He's like, it's not perfect, but at least they got something.
Jesse brought up the fucking Marner peon
not
thing, so I'm mad again.
Like,
okay, did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I need you to.
Yeah.
I do
Sorry.
need you to be. I know you're heated, and I'm cool with that. Julian McKenzie brought up that in the
what did Julian say?
brought up that in the MLS, you get one question for the official. So the media is allowed to ask one question.
Okay,
of the
so
official.
the NHL is below MLS. So like, I just want to find out where they are in relevance. They're below MLS, a professional league. Continue.
Well, the MLB is not any better, right?
Steve,
Like, that's not
the
a
MLB
great.
is shocking.
I'm a big watcher
Yeah,
of
but
Leaf
people go to their
fans,
games.
Leaf fan reaction, and I heard you yell about letting the refs speak to the media and all that. But what is going to happen if they speak to the media is they're going to be trained just like the hockey players, and they're going to learn to give answers without giving answers. Because from the top down, Gary Bettman's going to train them to speak like Gary Bettman. So it's not going to solve anything. It's a fundamental problem with the game in the way that the referees are told to handle the game, where their game management skills are terrible and teams are getting away with everything and guys who deserve calls aren't getting calls because the game isn't being called as it's done as it's written down.
It's the philosophy behind how it's.
Yeah,
done.
it's the entire whatever thing has been crafted in the NHL today in 2021, the way the game is called. That's a fundamental issue with their mentality about the game, where the Stars don't get calls, where things are allowed to be called roughing, where you don't give a game misconduct to Wayne Simmons when he shouldn't be in the box for 10 minutes.
Hysterical.
Where you can just ignore blatant penalties because that guy got one earlier. It's ridiculous.
Brad Meyer should have to pay Wayne Simmons fine. He's so dumb.
He's talking to the media doesn't change their mentality about how to call a game of hockey.
I won't stand for this pessimism.
You think it'll change?
I want the refs to speak to the media because I'm an optimist.
Do you want real change?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want to know how to get real change?
Well, here's how I think it will work, Adam. I'm Brad Meyer. I do a shitty fucking job.
Like you did last night.
Yeah, like he did last night when he did a shitty fucking job last night. That was great, Jesse, that you brought up that Brad Meyer did a shitty fucking job. So then reporters have to ask Brad Meyer about the shitty fucking job he did. And then he has to answer questions about the shitty fucking job he did. Specific questions about the shitty fucking job he did. Then what he is forced to do after some time of answering these questions about his shitty fucking job is he stops doing a shitty fucking job. Because I'm not asking reporters to go up to Brad Meyer or any other official and just go and ref better. Why were these coincidental minors? Where were you on the Pionk knee? Why didn't you see this? What can you do next time that will allow you to see it? The puck's right there. How'd you miss it? What's wrong with those questions? What's wrong with those questions? They're perfectly legitimate questions.
Here, how about this? If you don't want your refs talking to the media, why don't they have to file a report like the NBA's refs do?
That's a great thing.
To me, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I don't mind
If the NHL
hold on. Here's what you could do. You can make the argument that a media circus like Toronto or a media circus like Montreal can sway ref decisions if you let the media at them.
But if you want
to protect the integrity, you got to change the philosophy, and B, you got to go in and make this accountable.
Yeah.
At least write down why things happened the way that they did.
Yes.
And so I don't necessarily agree
NHL
that the media needs to talk to the refs, because I don't think they do in the NBA, but I do think they need to be accountable. And I think that's a good happy medium.
So I agree, but we get nothing. If the NHL owned a restaurant, it'd be called Fuck You Eat It.
Right. So do you want to change? The way to change it, honestly, I think Scouting the Refs was doing this for a while. I'm not sure if they're still doing it. Is there needs to be like a referee analytics scorecard, and someone needs to go deep on hockey.
Baseball does it.
No, but
and
baseball
someone needs to be the NHL. They need to
but
release
they're not
a
going
report.
to. So what we need to do, somebody's got to do this. Go find this score. Start scorecarding the refs. Seriously.
So what Scouting the Refs does, scoutingtherefs.com, is I believe a stat that they keep is when an official calls a penalty, what is the likelihood that the next penalty is going to the other team?
Ooh. Wow.
For everyone, it's pretty fucking high. The scorecards that they have for the umpires, what website does that?
I don't know.
Ah, shoot. Well, what's great about it, it's either a website or a Twitter account, I'm not sure, but what's great about it is the scorecards don't tell you this ump is bad, this ump is good. They just tell you the score. That's what
I'm saying. Score the refs.
So what's great about that, though, is I remember there was an umpire who had a scorecard of over 99% accuracy in a game. It was like 99.3.
For like balls and strikes?
Yeah, that's robotic.
Yeah.
Like that is, it's like he's the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
He sees reality in red. Like it's unbelievable that he was able to do that. But then you get someone like Angel Hernandez who's barely cracking 90 some nights. So 1 in every 10 calls is wrong? You suck. Go home. It's unacceptable. So anyway, can we apply that to the NHL? Scouting the Refs is trying, and I think it's about time we give that site a little bit more attention.
Yeah, give them some love.
And we start coming up with some more ideas here.
Like, GIF it. Here's the thing. You know when what Tic-Tac-Tomar does sometimes with his GIFs where it's like, so-and-so missed this pass. Wouldn't it be great if we got GIFs of refs just missing calls?
Here you are.
Here's a ref from this game missing this call.
And by the way, the reason I'm picking on Brad Meyer specifically...
Well, he's the most recent example.
Well, he's the most recent example, but also he was one of the officials for Game 2 against the Bruins in 2019, which, because the Leafs keep embarrassing themselves in elimination games, that game gets lost in the ether. That game is the biggest piece of shit in Leafs playoff history in my lifetime.
Why?
It's the biggest non-elimination game piece of shit. Why? It wasn't a hockey game.
Okay,
for
so
God's
a lot
sake.
of
we don't know
people
what you're talking about. I don't remember that.
Don't have photographic memory of Game 2.
I have to look it up.
So I was in the middle of it. So the Bruins beat the shit out of the Leafs. Like literally give me your fucking money, beat the shit out of the Leafs from opening puck drop till the end of it. And eventually, Nazem Kadri said, you know what? I don't really fucking like this anymore. And he hits Jake DeBrusk with a hit that you can't do. Shouldn't have done it. Got suspended because he should have been. But it didn't fall out of the fucking sky. It didn't just happen. He didn't he didn't pull a Charlie Day and go, wild card, bitches, and just do it. I'm not going to lie, what he did against the Blues last year, he did kind of do that.
Yeah,
actually.
he did.
But
it was kind of
that was out of the blue.
Yeah, we're winning.
But
You know
what was the
I'm gonna
buildup?
do?
Tell me what
Get
the buildup
kicked out.
was, Steve.
The buildup was Jake DeBrusk hitting Patrick Marleau dangerously, plus 50 minutes of fucking nonsense leading into that. The Leafs kicked the Bruins up and down the ice in Game 1. They were the better team. I'll still argue that for most of the series, they were the better team. Game 7 can go fuck itself. I really can't believe this goddamn team sometimes. But everything leading up to that hit that led to a suspension was because of the shitty 50 minutes that preceded it. That game last night descended into a joke. It was a perfectly fine hockey game that the Leafs seemed perfectly content in trying in. Because, I mean, geez, when we were younger, teams down 4 goals, they're not trying to come back. They're trying to beat the shit out of you and run you out of the building. Leafs score 2 goals heading into the third, and it's the Leafs. You're thinking, well, I can do this.
Yeah.
When they got that 5-on-3, it was like,
This could happen.
Couple quick ones. This is a hockey game.
When Wayne Simmons took that cross check off the face-off. I was like,
It was a
what?
it was 1 goal game.
It was a 2-goal game,
Yeah.
and like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's sticking up." I was like, "Wayne, what the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
Like it was a winnable game. It was a stupid penalty in a winnable game. So if he doesn't take that penalty, which would have been, it was a dumb thing to do, and Matthews draws a penalty on Dubois and takes none because he didn't deserve one, who knows? But I'm not trying to say the Leafs lost because of officiating. They didn't. And I need Jets fans to understand that so that they join us in this conversation here. The reason that game got so fucking out of hand is because of what preceded it. It doesn't drop out of the sky. And the final straw, the Matthews thing with Dubois is frustrating, but it's something you highlight after
hockey.
the game.
It happens.
And it's hockey, and it happens. But then it's whenever there's a list, there's something about looking at a piece of paper and there's more than one line on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Pionk does what he does to Sandin, and it's Sandin, who may be the youngest guy on the team. Like, I feel like it does matter. Like, it matters to the guys. Dubois, Pionk hits Sandin.
Mm-hmm.
The bench flips the fuck out.
Yep.
Did you see the bench shot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And who flipped out the most? Who was standing out like a
Spezza.
sore thumb? Spezza.
Yeah.
Loses his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Goes over the bench. Not a guy high up on the list of players I ever expected to see the red mist from. But he goes on the ice and does a genuinely crazy thing.
Which is unacceptable.
Yeah. And
No, I'm sorry. Hold on. We need to stay. That hit is dangerous and wrong.
it's unacceptable, and it's especially unacceptable for Jason Spezza and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'll tell you why, all Leaf fans who are going to get very upset. What did that hit remind you of? What did it remind everybody of? It reminded everybody of what happened to John Tavares in Game 1 against the Montreal Canadiens. Here's the super important asterisk there. That was a fucking accident. Corey Perry kneed Tavares in the head and didn't mean to. Corey Perry's not exactly a player you give the benefit of the doubt to.
But on that one,
But
it's clear.
everybody is like, oh, for God's sake.
It's bad luck.
Yeah, and like Nick Foligno fought him, and he didn't know. The players on the ice genuinely didn't know. We assumed that at the time, and then the Amazon documentary confirmed it. For Spezza to go out and do something very similar to a prone player on purpose is dirty, and he's going to get the book thrown at him, and it's because he should.